Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Jackson and I are out doing one cast today. It's Thursday the 25th of January. It rained here all morning. We've got some, I wouldn't call it muddy water, but we've got some discolored water at Fall Creek and then at Short Creek. Otherwise, the lake's in pretty good shape. Water's been off all day. I think said they were going to run an hour of water last night. I'm not sure if they did or not. Fish are fairly active on the surface. I'm up here above the Narrows in the trophy area. I've got under an indicator number 14 red zebra midge. It's got a copperhead, copper rib. It's 6X tippet, and then I've got a number 12 peppy scud. And this is all about 3 feet, a little over 3 feet deep under a small hard float indicator. And I had trouble, I was out fishing the last couple of days, I had trouble with my leader sinking. I like this leader to be sitting on the water the best I can, so I'm going to put some fly floatant or some dressing on the leader. Just got to run it through my fingers all the way up to the fly line. And then I'm going to put a little bit more on the fly line. And that just, it allows me to control the line a little better as far as mending, and if this line sinks underneath the water, it takes a little bit more of an effort to get it up off the water to make a cast. It's just a lot cleaner. Just put a little bit of dressing on there. I'm sure I need to clean this line. That's another factor. And there are some products that you can use to clean line, or you can just use Dawn detergent or something like that. Something pretty easy. When I pulled up here, and the reason I stopped here, besides the fact I know there's a ton of fish here, because there was a pretty good chop on the water. Well, it's not there anymore. The wind is coming and going. It's also coming and going in different directions too. But for about 2 or 3 days I've been coming up here and fishing this area. A little bit different conditions every time, but if the wind is blowing, they are really eating this scud. Got to get out here in a little deeper water. Oh, got my camera pointed the other way. Now, last evening it was pretty still, and I ended up using this number 14 zebra midge and doing a lot better. I'm not counting this. My first cast is coming up pretty quick here. I want to get out in the right depth of water. Okay, here we go. It's a little bit too shallow where I started. I did really good. I caught a lot of fish. I only caught one fish that was probably over 15. Everything else was 12 inches or less on the zebra midge. They just weren't hitting it very hard. Now I've got a little chop on the water here. The wind's actually coming from the opposite direction now. But they were not taking that float under. They were just vibrating the float, so I couldn't cast out very far. I cast out too far and I wouldn't see the bite. Now since I have the scud on, I'm going to be moving the float about every 7, 8, 9 seconds, making it swim just a little bit. There seems to be a lot of fish up there, a lot of rainbows. And again, I know that there's a lot of big rainbows up here, but you got to catch, seems like you got to catch a lot of small ones to catch that one big one. All right, nothing on the first cast. So I've already lost the chop. It seems like here lately, if there's a chop on the water, they'll really eat that scud. If there's no chop, then they'll eat the zebra midge. I think I might go a little deeper. I'm out here in 4+ foot of water. I want to get maybe that scud a little closer to the bottom. The lake is sitting a little high up here because of the rain, I'm sure. All the gravel bars at the narrows are underwater. Try that. I'm gonna have to turn the camera because I'm going to point the boat the other way. Well, my float was swimming off. And it was swimming off again. He ate the scud. Yeah, this is the other thing I've noticed is, and this time of year it's not unusual to catch a lot of these. It's a dark colored male rainbow, small, got a kite. He's got a lot of yellow in his belly. Okay. As you notice, we got our microphones in. Lake had it on yesterday. Wow, that float was just barely moving, just vibrating. And that's those fish are coming up on that scud and just sucking it in and just chewing it. That's all it's doing. And if you're lucky, you'll see that float just, you'll see some little tiny rings going off of it. Gotta set the hook if you see that. There's the eagle. But a couple of days ago, when I was up here, of course without the camera, maybe 3 days ago, my fly wasn't in the water more than 10 seconds before I get a bite. Oh, and not a lot of fish. I mean, not a lot of big fish. I did have some nice fish, but a lot of small 11, 12-inch fish. Rainbows. I think I had 1 or 2 browns. So far they hadn't touched the midge. So I'm a little surprised with the activity on the surface. gonna move up a little ways, about 50, 60 yards. I think that guy was duck hunting. It is legal to hunt on the lake. There are a lot of ducks up here. Okay. Now there's chop up here. That's not the reason I came up here, but I'll take it. Well, this is the slowest it's been all week for me. That's unfortunate. Well, I think I'm going to try something. Hmm. Okay. I'm going to simply break the scud off and fish just the zebra midge. I can't help but think that, you know, the way I tie those two flies on is from the zebra midge, which is the first fly. You tie a line onto it, and then you tie another line onto the same fly, and you drop it down to the scud. I would think a fish would be less likely to hit a fly with two lines off of it. So I'm just gonna check and see if they might hit this zebra midge if it's by itself. The scud, I'm not surprised that, you know, they don't hit scud sometimes. But the zebra midge, they just about, even especially the small ones, will eat a zebra midge. And they are feeding on midges, some up here. There he is. So I threw up at a rainbow that had just come up and ate something off the surface. And I even saw the direction he swam down, so I threw out in front of him. May or may not be the same one. Nice rainbow. It's hard to get your fingers around a number 14 fly. They're not cruising. They're not cruising around on the surface. They're down pretty deep and swimming up and taking the midge and then swimming back down. I can see them doing that. Again, I threw at actually two fish that had just come up on the surface. And one of them might have eaten it. Well, I don't know if my theory's right or I'm just getting lucky. I don't know. One thing I was right about is the smallness of these fish. See? There he is right there. I'm a little off on my cast, but he came up right there. Oh, he ate it. I didn't see the bite. That goes to the distance from the float. He did not take it under. Temperature-wise, it's super nice out. Let's say upper 40s. I couldn't tell. It looked like it was vibrating. If you're not sure, set the hook. Right there. I'm going to leave it and see if he swims over. Oh! Missed him. I could almost see the fish eating at that time. I think he's super small though. I really don't want you eating it. If I can catch one more, I gotta go. So I'm fishing probably in 5 to 7 foot of water right now. I probably should move my float down a little bit, but I think 3 feet's pretty good. I'm not throwing at fish rising, I'm just hitting spots. Not leaving it there terribly long. Ooh. Thank you. Thought I broke off. There was a little pop when I set the hook or when he let go. Wasn't sure if it was the line or just coming out of his mouth. I was up here last evening in one of these sycamore trees that's leaning over the lake down here. There was a buzzard that was up in that tree. Usually don't see buzzards down in right here. I'm not sure if they don't hang around eagles or what, but because there's an eagle's nest there. Anyhow, that buzzard, there's actually a couple of them on the ground. But he was up in the tree. He was up there for I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I was fishing right up in here. And the limb he was sitting on broke. It's a big limb. I mean, it was as long as my boat and pretty good size around. It must have been rotten or something, because and it fell straight in the water. And it made a big splash, big noise. That was kind of interesting. Well, I kind of do this to myself sometimes. I'll say one more fish, then I can't catch it. I'm right at the top of the Narrows right now. You got the tree that sticks out right there. I'll get a couple more minutes. All right, I'm gonna have one more cast here. Just not real active today. Kind of thought after that rain they'd be wanting to eat. Whale. It's the way it is. I don't think this rain and the water that came in, even if they don't run water, I don't think it's going to affect fishing too much this weekend. We didn't get any hard rain. It was just kind of consistent all morning. It was good rain. I think I noticed the table rock had come up 6 inches from the rains before this morning. But it's still 4.5 feet low. Well, pretty slow. It was fun. Thanks for watching. When you look downstream on the bar itself, fish all over it. Coming up. That's kind of crazy. I mean, fair amount, but still a lot more than what I'm seeing upstream. See you tomorrow.